It's Dan from Massive Hits with Geekcast Productions, and welcome to Megacon Live. It is Dan at Megacon Live. I'm joined by Alex. So for those who can't see this on YouTube, just tell everyone who you're cosplaying today.
I'm cosplaying Lagatha from Vikings.
I know Kev behind the camera, it's his favourite character in Vikings. What is it about the character that you identify with?
I just love the fact that even though she is such a powerful female, she recognises that community around her is so incredibly important, and she has such an aura about her that just instills everybody around her to sort of gather with her and fight with her, and I think that's like a credit to the character.
And obviously we're at Megacon Birmingham. Is this your first time at Megacon?
It is my first time at Megacon. I've never been before, so I'm excited.
We are recording this early into the first day. What have you made about the event so far? What have you thought of it?
I like it. I feel like it's a lot more relaxed than Comic-Con. Like, I don't feel as like stressed out. But from what I've seen so far, like having such an inclusive event is really cool to attend.
And what is it about Vikings, going back to that you sort of got you hooked on the show?
I've always been into like Norse mythology, sort of from growing up, like just massively into that. My nan really pushed that onto me. And then obviously when the show came out, I was just hooked. And like being able to bring that to life, even though it's not all historically accurate, but just being able to immerse yourself in a TV series that is also like means something to you personally, that's sort of why I'm so like really invested in it.
As well as obviously Vikings being on the watch list, what else have you been watching recently?
Recently, I'm currently rewatching The Last of Us, getting ready for season 2 and all that emotional heartache that's about to come my way. So I'm rewatching that. Yeah, exactly. So I kind of just, with my ADHD, I just end up rewatching things I've already seen before. So nothing like brand new.
And as a cosplayer, what do you do to just keep things fresh on socials, but also give yourself that mental space to stay creative?
So I'm also massively into like tabletop gaming and wargaming, so to step away from that sort of cosplay bubble, I just throw myself into other franchises, particularly Warhammer, and that's a really good way for me to try and
I was about to say, is Warhammer on it, but top of the list.
Yeah, I just throw myself into Warhammer and all that lore and painting, and it really helps me just disengage from cosplay for a bit, and just like you said, just helps with your own mental well-being.
And if people want to follow you on socials and see what you're getting up to when you're playing Warhammer, where can they do that?
They can do that at AJM_Nerdcore.
So it's Dan at Megacon Live, Birmingham. Just tell me your name and who you're cosplaying today.
My name's Carter, and I am cosplaying Dusk from Scooby-Doo, the Hex Girls.
And what is it about that character that sort of drew you to it?
She's a goth and she's a drummer, and that's I want to be a drummer, and I'm also a goth.
Yeah. So what is it? You've just been speaking off air before we started recording a little bit about you being to Megacon Birmingham 3 times now. What is it about this event that draws you to it every year?
Creativity, the fun, going out with your friends. If you've got nothing to do on the weekend, come here into Megacon.
And who's your favourite character out of all in Scooby-Doo?
Out of Scooby-Doo, probably Dusk, and I like the Hex Girls in general, but Dusk.
And what other characters are you looking at cosplaying anytime soon?
I've cosplayed Chloe Price from Life is Strange. I've done Michael Afton. At some point, I want to cosplay Rachel Amber, and there's a few others, but I haven't got anything to mind at the moment.
And what do you do to sort of stay creative? Because I know like the cosplay community can be very draining at times. I think that's fair to say. What is it that keeps you focused?
Focus is also like going out, looking at cosplays you haven't seen yet. Like new people come in, new people come in now, and you might see a cosplay that you've never seen before in person. It's amazing.
And if people want to keep tabs on what you're doing, where can they do that on socials?
It's Facebook, Instagram.
And what's your handle?
Mine on Instagram, H_Ralph 2019, that's on Instagram.
Thanks for speaking to us today, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. So it's Dan, and I'm going to call you Jedi, Dan, because you are just dressed as a Jedi. What is it about the Star Wars franchise that drew you in?
So the Star Wars franchise itself, there's so much diversity to it, there's so much that goes on. The story and plot lines have been absolutely amazing. And just been a big fan since I was a kid, just reenacting and living that sort of fantasy. So it's been absolutely amazing being here.
How have you felt with like all the new series that have come out in the recent years? What's been your favourite? What's been the standout one for you?
Ahsoka's been a really good series, I think. That's been a big standout. And also Acolyte as well. That's been an amazing series to really watch these stories develop and change, and really follow on from the plots of the main franchise itself. Really fantastic.
And if you could change any sort of film in the Star Wars saga, storyline wise, what would it be and why?
That's a really tough question. I think amazing plot lines, but one of the things that I would probably change is some of the backstory for Anakin Skywalker. Really bring that forward and show the plots that he's been through. So.
Yeah, I agree with that. And obviously we're at MegaconLive. Is this your first time at Megacon?
Second one. But yeah, it's really good here in Birmingham. Really amazing experience, and each one seems to be different every time. So
yeah, you're here for the full weekend?
Full weekend.
What are you most looking forward to seeing?
So some of the stage actors that are coming through, they'll be really good to watch, and also just the padded one stands as well. So looking at getting the new lightsabers that have come out.
And what's your cosplay plans for the entire weekend? Are you going to be cosplaying tomorrow as well?
Absolutely.
What are you going with?
So changing it up again, following the Star Wars franchise, but more of a Sith look. So.
Okay. I'm looking forward to that. I know there's R2D2 knocking around, so I'll let you reunite with him. But if people want to follow you on socials, where can you do that?
So I'm on Instagram, Ems160. So follow me on Instagram.
Top of speaking to us, Dan.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Dan, I'm joined by Amber from Copperfield. Tell me a little bit about the organisation.
Sure, so Copperfield are the UK's first and only breast cancer awareness charity. So we exist to educate all young people on the signs and symptoms of breast cancer, encourage them to check their chest monthly, and then empower them to go to the doctor if they find something that's not normal for them. And the reason that we do this is we know if breast cancer is caught early, your chances of survival are way higher. So we just really want to empower everyone with our message.
I did read a statistic that it's 1 in 2 people now get some sort of cancer. How is Copperfield combating that?
Great question, yeah. So we really want to exist in the spaces that people exist, and we want to reach them in the way that they want to be reached. So we know similarly that 1 in 7 women in the UK will get breast cancer in their lifetime. So we want to be kind of creating a really good habit from an early age, and then hoping that they'll take that through their whole life. As it's something that with so many cancers, they're harder to detect, but breast cancer you can kind of check yourself. So it's a really kind of healthy habit to develop.
And where can people get more information or any useful tips for someone watching this who might be a little bit worried?
Yeah, so first of all, we'd encourage you to follow us on socials because we put a lot of reminders there. But if you head to our website as well, we've got all of our signs and symptoms listed, and we also have this thing called the self-checkout, which talks you through chest checking for the first time.
And we mentioned it before, the camera started rolling and all that, about me being a scouser, and I know you've been at multiple Megacons, mainly in the Northwest, in Manchester, stuff like that. What's it like for you at Copperfield to have Megacon so supportive?
It's huge. We're so grateful to Megacon because Megacon has a whole community of young people that we know we maybe are not reaching through other mechanisms. We get our logo on Love Island, but it's a whole other community. So we're so grateful to be here, to be reaching young people in the spaces that they exist.
You mentioned Love Island. Who's your favourite ever contestant?
Oh, big question. I don't really watch Love Island.
Lies.
I don't know. I can't remember any, sorry.
It's fine. I don't watch it.
Yeah, but to be fair, we have a lot of Love Island who support us, so we do love Love Island as well. It's all important.
Hopefully they don't see this clip. Hopefully. And if people want to follow Copperfield on socials, where can you do that?
It's at Copperfield on Instagram and TikTok.
Amazing. Thank you, Amber. So it is Dan at MegaconLive. I'm joined by John. John, tell us a little bit what you're doing here today at Megacon.
Sure. I'm with Milestone 3D. I own the company. Full body 3D scanning. We take 200 pictures in less than a second. We turn them into a 3D model. We turn those 3D models into a full color 3D printed miniature version of you.
Yeah, this one caught my eye before because you don't see many, stalls like this at a convention. I want to know where your thought process started with this idea.
We're nerds. We're nerds, and we're nerds. We like hanging out with nerds. So we started as cosplayers actually. So we're kind of involved in the cosplay scene, and we started the business because we thought it'd be a good way to hang out with more cosplayers. So we find that it's more families actually than cosplayers that are interested. People like to get scans of their kids and things like that. Yeah.
And just the action figure side of it, was it just like one of them moments like you're sort of in the middle of doing something and you just go, why has no one thought of doing this? Was it one of them?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've been doing this for about 6 years now, and the material that we're printing now, the full color resin, it's so close to producing action figures. We're looking at producing articulated figures next, so that people can get kind of scaled and they can be part of their own collection, which we think is going to be a really cool thing.
So if we can just pop in and have a little look, and you show us how this works? Follow us in, Kev.
So it's a 17 pillar scanner. We have 89 cameras, 26 projectors, custom made lighting kit. It's the only scanner of its type, definitely in the UK, possibly in the world now. You won't see it anywhere else. And we're going to scan you now, right?
Yeah, I'm going to get scanned. Thought I'd never say that at a convention, but here we go.
Excellent. So if I can get you stand right in the center of the carpet, and you want to be facing this way.
This way? Okay.
Yeah, this is where we get kind of the biggest concentration of cameras.
Yeah, okay.
Strike your pose. Oh, yes.
There we go.
Super bright. Try that with me. In 3, 2, 1, now. Boom, that's it.
There we go. I think it didn't blink.
We can take a look.
Okay.
So yeah, that takes about 200 pictures. We stitch them together into a 3D model. You get a 3D photo to your email.
Okay.
And then if you wanted to get a figure, we could absolutely sort that out.
That's awesome. And if people want to, keep tabs on what you're up to, where can they find you on socials, all that good stuff?
Sure, on all socials at Milestones 3D. We're based up in Rotherham, so people can come and see us anytime. But yeah, keep an eye on social media. We're going to be a bit more active now, I think.
It is Dan at MegaconLive, and I'm joined by
Naya.
And how are you today?
I'm a bit tired, but I'm alright.
Yeah. And we were talking a little bit before, this is obviously not your first Megacon, but what makes it unique compared to other cons?
The communities that you find here, and also like the venues that you get, because obviously we were talking about it, they've announced a new venue, I think it's really cool. I think the stalls that you find here as well, like, are quite unique. Obviously you see like a couple of like the same artists like go from con to con, but I always feel like you find something different at Megacon.
And obviously tell everyone who's listening to this as well and not watching it what you're cosplaying on.
I'm cosplaying as Evie from Disney's Descendants.
And what is it about that franchise that first drawed you to it?
I think because it was a different spin on like the Disney classics and stuff. I don't know, and they were all like edgy teenagers, which I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. Because obviously I got
with the emo face.
Exactly, and when that came out, I was also going through and I was like, these characters are so me. So locked in with it.
And now Disney Channel's gone, which is disappointing for everyone. But I just always remember like the little Disney original.
Like,
yeah.
I want to do that so bad.
Do you want to give it a go on?
Absolutely.
And if you could cosplay any other character from any sort of universe, who would it be and why?
If money wasn't like a concern or anything, Sarah from Labyrinth.
Ooh, okay. Wow.
Massive ball gown dress. I just think it's such a pretty movie and like it's such a pretty outfit and everything, but it's just.
I feel like I saw some Labyrinth cosplays here yesterday actually.
Did you not just take the cosplays off?
There was definitely a Labyrinth because I was like, you don't see Labyrinth cosplays, and it's underrated.
It is so underrated. But you see like a cosplay every blue moon, you're like, well, you've got the money for that.
And what else is on your watch list right now? If someone's like looking for a new sort of series to watch on the way home from Megacon later or tomorrow, what would you suggest?
Obviously the Descendants movies.
They're
very cool. I'm gonna pick that up. Adolescence. Quite good. That's the Netflix one. Yeah.
I can't say no. It's got Stephen Graham and he's a Scouser.
Oh god, it's so good in the way it's done. It's just.
You know what else is good? People don't know this, but it's not the first thing Stephen Graham has shot in one take.
I've seen
He's done Boiling Point, which is a film where it's all panned in one shot, and it's so good. It's a bit of a dark film, I'm not gonna lie, but it's brilliant. And then there's a series based off it as well.
Okay.
So yeah, if you could put Stephen Graham, who's obviously in Adolescence, in any sort of series right now, nerdy, what would it be? I don't think he'd play a good villain.
I was going to say a Marvel villain.
Yeah.
Someone in Marvel. I don't know.
Scouse Thanos.
Exactly, yeah. Switch it up a little bit.
If people want to follow what you're doing, or maybe see what like your next cosplay is going to be, if you already know, where can you do that?
You can find me on Instagram at mahoney.cos and then TikTok Mahoney Macy with 2 R's.
And speaking of TikTok, what's your best TikTok phrase? What's your favourite?
Everyone's going to hate me for it, but the Wednesday friend, the little like Lady Gaga. Did you see that?
I did not. I probably did. To be fair.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get you to do it. I was tentative now. Well, thank you for speaking to us. It's Dan here at MegaconLive, and I'm joined by Freddie. Now, tell everyone watching this and listening to it what you're doing here today at MegaconLive.
So I'm Freddie Magic, and today I'm just walking around for everyone here, performing magic for the guests, the suppliers, basically anyone I can perform for, really.
What got you into magic?
So my mum married a bloke called Mike, and who loves stuff like this, and he got me into this sort of thing, but he also is obsessed with magic. He grew up his heroes for Penn and Teller.
Yeah.
And when I first met him, I think it was the second time I met him, he was watching Penn and Teller Fool Us, and I sat and watched it with him, and that was what started me on this journey to being a magician where I am now.
Wow. And what other magicians do you look at for inspiration?
I love magicians like Dynamite. I love from the 80s. I love Tommy Cooper from the 70s and 80s. I love Penn and Teller, my favourites. David Blaine. Yeah. I love watching all kinds of magic. I can get inspiration from just about any performer on the planet, I think.
And what was it for you to come here and perform at MegaconLive? What drew you to the event?
Well, if you look around, there's the diversity of everything is just fantastic. You get people in different costumes from all over Europe. Actually, I've spoken to people from everywhere, and it's just lovely to speak to people who have interests that are the same as your own, and different opinions on certain things as well.
And it feels more, I'd say, compared to other conventions, it has more of a community sense. Would you agree with that?
Agreed. Every time I've asked somebody to do a trick, they've always said it's nice to catch up with their friends, and they've known people all over the place. They've just literally just walked past them that they saw the year before that, and they're still in contact with today. You
mentioned you've been performing to a few people today. So you said you're going to do a little trick here. So so tell me what I need to do. And
well, you've already done it. I handed you a deck of cards before off camera, didn't I?
You did.
So that was done very specifically off camera. I want you to name any playing card that you like.
Name it? All right.
Just name it, yeah.
3 of clubs.
3 of clubs, okay. Can you hand me that deck of cards that's been in your pocket from before the trip?
Yeah.
So if I go into here, can you see there's one turned over for you? Have a look at that and show the cameras.
No way. What? That is mad. What? That is brilliant. Where can people follow you on social?
So my name is Freddie Magic. It's Freddie Magic across all my socials. On YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, a lot. So yeah, Freddie Magic, and I'm doing some filming as well. We're doing a big video of all the magic we're doing today, and you're going to be on it, but everyone else will perform for as well. So make sure you go and give that a watch. Thank you.
Yeah, and that will be, where will that be? Will it YouTube, that sort of thing?
That's going to be a YouTube video, but we're also going to be putting clips from the day throughout across our social medias.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Freddie, mate. Go and give him a little follow. Amazing. Stand at MegaconLive, and I'm joined by
Ashen.
Ember Wolf.
And obviously we've just been speaking a little bit before the cameras rolling. You've been to MegaCon before. It's your first time from Canada?
Yep.
Whereabouts in Canada are you from?
I'm from Montreal, Canada.
And what have you made of UK cons compared to conventions over in the States and Canada?
Well, to be fair, there is a lot of like similarities, but I feel like the vibe itself, the people, they're much nicer here for some reason. I'm not trying to take a...
Because we're used to queuing, it's Britain.
No, it's just like how friendly people are. People actually come to you a lot more, I feel, than the people in Canada. That's just my experience so far. And also, there is a lot of variety in terms of like artists. I love seeing many new people. So yeah.
And how did you two meet?
Oh,
I'm being nosy now.
That's fine. So we actually met via social media. We both followed each other because we liked each other's cosplay. Started chatting and video calling, and then from there, the rest is history.
Love it. I mentioned to you before the cameras were rolling, I caught a little bit of your panels, but I found your sort of first steps into like the industry and doing this sort of stuff very interesting. So if you could just explain for both of you what those first steps were.
So getting into cosplay in general, or yeah. So getting into cosplay, I literally just started because I'm quite a theatrical person. I love dress up and things. Even from a young age, I'd love dressing up. And when I saw there was an advertisement for a Comic-Con convention, a friend briefly told me about it because they went to one before, and they said, yeah, you dress up and there's loads of different things going on. And then when I stepped into a convention, I had no idea how broad it is: comic books, anime, games. And then from there, I was like, I love this community, I love cosplay, and now it's actually my career. So yeah, it's been a wild journey the past sort of 10 years.
And how did that transition happen?
Into work?
Yeah.
So I started cosplaying online, sharing my posts and things on Instagram. I tend to do a lot of more niche stuff. This is probably one of the more like well-known characters I've cosplayed. I normally cosplay a lot of like human versions of characters like Stitch from Disney and things, and people just seem to like the different twists. And then my following just kind of grew on TikTok, and then before I knew it, especially during COVID, my following jumped to like 3 million on TikTok. And then companies started reaching out to me to work with them and things, and then I was able to leave my day job because I was getting enough income from working as a cosplayer to do that, and now it's my full-time job.
And what was your first steps?
I did pretty much the same thing, to be fair. So back in 2015, I think roughly, was one of my first cons where I did one of my first cosplays. And mind you, back then they were not super good, and like we didn't have access to as many like cosplay brands or like materials to make our own costumes. But I kind of started from there, and during the pandemic, I really didn't have much more to do. So all I did was make content, create new cosplays, and like voila, that's pretty much how it happened. And from there, I kind of also made it my own career to become a full-time content creator.
So it snowballed from there.
It just snowballed from there, exactly. And by being able to do that full-time, I was able to meet like incredible friends, like people in the community, as well as my partner here. So.
And how do you just make it not feel like work, I guess? That must be a big challenge at times.
Yeah, it's definitely, for me sometimes, especially this month, I'm very tired because I've done back-to-back events working as a guest, and at that point, like, you sometimes wake up in the morning and it's like, I actually don't really want to get in a costume now because I've been doing it so much. So sometimes it is a little bit, it can feel more like all work and no play at all. But it's normally just brief for me. I still really look forward to dressing up, like especially when like certain companies reach out to me and they're like, oh, we would like to send you this prop or this costume, and then I get really excited and it's like, oh, you know, this company's helping me with a cosplay I really wanted to do that I probably wouldn't be able to afford to do on my own and things. So yeah, there are points where it's like, oh, it's a lot to do, I'm tired, I've been doing back-to-back events, I've been traveling to Norway and then flying back and then doing an event the same week. But I then remind myself also, I'm very lucky that I get to do that in such a niche, in a niche industry like this. I just feel incredibly lucky. But yeah, it can get a bit tiring because people don't realise that it is actually quite a lot of work. Yeah. So yeah.
I buy cheap cosplays if I do cosplay. Kev behind the camera, he's made them in the past, and I just look at it and go, that's too much hard work. I don't know how you do it. And you know, it's not a career to me, it's a hobby, but don't know how people do that. Who are those cosplays for you? You just look at that, give you a little bit of inspiration right now.
Ooh. What do you
like in terms of like cosplay that
cosplayers that you're like, ooh, they're really good, and it's kind of inspired you a little bit.
That are really good? Or
I would say so. Cosplays that inspire you, like look at and
okay. So like in terms of people?
Yeah.
Oh my god, there's just so many.
I have a few. So I I'm very lucky to know a lot of like really talented cosplayers. There's a couple of mutuals that I always look at their stuff and I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. Jessica Neri is one. Her cosplay is always absolutely fantastic. Kimpatsu cosplay, their stuff is always like really creative and insane. But then I've got like friends as well that always inspire me. Like my friend Molly, she helps make a lot of my costumes, and the way that she just sews and makes things like is incredible. She also makes fursuits as well. Her handle is May Blues Cosplay. But honestly, there's so many people that inspire me. There's like such a broad like spectrum of cosplayers now all around the world, and there's new ones that I keep being introduced to, even 10 years in the industry, and there's more and more that I keep coming across and talking to, and I'm like, it's such an inspiration.
I know you just want to show, so we'll start wrapping up now, but what's that one piece of advice that you would give to a cosplayer starting out right now?
Oh, one piece of advice is to do what you love and to not give up, and to, even if you don't feel like your work is good enough, don't compare yourself to other cosplayers online. I know it's something that sometimes is hard to do, and even as a, like, I would say quote unquote professional.
Yeah, like we do that in that everyday life anyway. You look at social media and you compare your life to someone else's.
But yeah, don't compare yourself to others. Keep on doing what you love and don't give up, and just have fun. Have fun with friends, have fun doing it by yourself too. That's right, that's it.
Amazing. And where can people follow you on socials if you want to keep up to date with what you're doing?
So I am Ember Wolf on all platforms, the Ember Wolf on Instagram and ember.wolf on TikTok.
And I'm Ashen on TikTok, Twitch, and Instagram. It's written XIII, the number 13 in Roman numerals, and Ashen. So
we'll tag it, don't worry. Thanks for speaking to us today.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap on MegaconLive 2025 in Birmingham. We'll see you on the next one.